ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अखण्डं सच्चिदानन्दम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् आत्मानमखिलाधारम् आश्रयेभीष्टसिद्धये अर्थतोऽप्यद्वयानन्दान् अतीतद्वैतभानतः गुरूनाराध्य वेदान्त सारं वक्ष्ये यथामति। 38th paragraph. अयम् अधिकारी जनन मरणादि संसारानल संतप्तः दीप्तशिराः जलराशिम् इव उपहारपाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं गुरुम् उपसृत्य तम् अनुसरति तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत् समित्पाणिः श्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम् इत्यादि श्रुतेः। So Anubandha Chatushtayam was described, and now Gurupa Sadanam, this qualified student is approaching to the teacher, going to the teacher. That particular topic is discussed here. Ayam adhikarihi, this adhikari, ayam refers to ukta lakshana lakshitaha, one who is endowed with the lakshanas which have been mentioned. Adhikari, qualified person. Janana Varnadi Samsara Nala Santaptaha, scorched by, afflicted with Samsara Nala, the fire of Samsara, which is in the form of Janana, birth, Marana, death, Adi, etc. etc. means Vyadhi. So a person who is afflicted with the fire of samsara, bondage, in the form of birth, death, etc. So by this what is suggested is that a person wants to be, intensely wants to be free from samsara. Samsara sakta chittasya Gurupa sarpanam ayuktam will not be possible. Therefore, janana maranadi samsara nala santaptaha. And samsara is compared to fire here in this expression to show the afflicting nature. And the samsara is described in various ways. Here it is described in the form of janana maranadi, birth, death. And Pujya Swamiji used to say, samsara means this struggle to become somebody. So whatever I am not happy with that, and I want to become somebody. So I want to be born as somebody else, Janana, and I do not want to continue the way I am. So that way also Janana Marana. So I want to be somebody else. The struggle to become somebody is samsara. Janana maranadi samsara nala santaptaha. Example is Deepta Shiraha, one whose head is hot, burning, and Jalarashim upasritya or upasarati, he will be approaching the body of water. How a person whose head has caught fire would be approaching this body of water, similarly this person who is afflicted with the fire of samsara in the form of janana marana approaches the teacher. He gurum upasritya, having approached the teacher, tam anusarati, he follows the teacher. Instruction whatever is there follow, and more than that mentally he follows him. Means he or she is tuned with the teacher. Alright. And when he goes to the teacher, what is his condition? Upahara panihi. Upaharaha panav or panyoho, yasya, one who is having some gift in his hand. As an expression of respect, reverence and readiness to serve, he carries some gift. Upahara panihi. Guru upasritya. What type of guru? Shrotriyam. One who is well versed in the scriptures and one who has the methodology of communication. Means one who herself has been exposed to the traditional teaching and therefore knows the way of communication. That idea is conveyed by Shrotriyam. Really Shrotriya means one who is well versed in scripture. Shrotriya means Chando Dhite Shrotriya. So one who studies Vedas, one who studies Veda, and contextually one who has studied Vedanta, that person is Shrotriya. But it also implies that he has got the exposure to the method of communication and he is well versed in that. That is Shrotriya. And Brahmanishtham. Brahmani nishtha yasya saha Brahmanishtaha tam. Brahmani nishtham we cannot make it. Brahmani nishtha yasya saha Brahmanishtham. So one who is committed, one who is abiding in Brahman, one who has got abidance in Brahman. And abidance in Brahman means abidance in Brahmagdanam. And abidance in Brahmagdanam means Brahmagdanam is available to this person as and when required. Like your cell phone number or your name, available. So constantly availability of Brahmagdanam is called Brahmanishta. So in other words, I am Brahma is a fact for the person. It is not a belief, it is a fact for the person. That person is called Brahmanishta. Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham Gurum Upasritya. Here in this context we generally say that if Shrotriya and Brahmanishta Guru is not available, then what to do? So if not Brahmanishta, at least Shrotriya. Best is the Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Second best is what? Shrotriya. And third is, in the terms of Guru, only Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta who is not exposed to this traditional teaching, and because of Purva Janma Samskara he had this insight and it clicked because of Pratibandha Nivrutti, then he will be enjoying his freedom, but he or she will not be able to communicate. And generally this Brahmanishta Guru are very popular and they will be giving the Upadesha in a particular way. Kuch nahi hai bas. Nothing is there. You are ever free. Why you are struggling for moksha? Nothing is required. No karma required. No upasana required. No going to Guru. You are Guru. Just see, look within. So that type of statements have some meaning, but not communicated properly can distract the person from the pursuit of knowledge, because the listener is not as qualified as the teacher. The teacher, Brahmanishta Guru, he or she had some background because of which it clicked without much exposure. but this person is not, and therefore what? He will not be able to get much from this teacher, and it can be sidetracked also. It is something like learning mathematics from Ramanujan. So he was such a genius that from first step we will see the seventh step, and if he teaches us this, and then he immediately will jump. This is how it is. For him it is very clear. But how it came in between? In fact, when he was there, most of the time he used to give formula, and he left it to other mathematicians to prove it. In fact, the proving continued for years together, even after his death. So I think he died somewhere in the 32 or 35 something. 100 years ago he died. And in 2012 only he is one of the theorem. Was one of this equation he had given, that what is called the Mach theta function. That was proved in 2012. He died somewhere in 2030 or 35 or something. So, some years ago he had done, now only they could get the proof. So if you learn from such a mathematician, and in fact he was asked, hey, how are you getting this? You know what he used to say? I am getting it from Devi. From Devi I am getting these equations. And now you don't have Devi available. So what will you do? And therefore such gurus are like those mathematicians. They themselves are genius, but they cannot become good teacher. Therefore best is Shrotriya Brahmanishtha, and second best is Shrotriya who is not completely Brahmanishtha. See, Brahmanishtha is not like a particular degree, or this person has got degree of Brahmanishtha. Brahmanishtha is growing clarity. Pujya Swamiji clarified that. So it is not that a person is a Brahmanishtha or not that. In Brahmanishtha there will be variation. So a person may have less Brahmanishtha, but he is Shrotriya, that person is safe. Pujya Swamiji, while introducing some of his students, as teacher he will say, you are in safe hands. That is how he used to introduce. That the students of his student who are available as teachers now, he will say, you are in safe hands. That teacher may not be Brahmanishtha, but he thinks that Pujya Swamiji used to have that confidence that person is Shrotriya, and therefore safe. So Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Gurum Upasrutya Tam Anusarati. He approaches that, he follows the teacher. And for that, this Shruti Vakya is Tad Vigdanartham, for knowing that Akrita Nitya Tattva Tad Vigdanartham Saha, that Shishya Guru Meva Bigachet, should go to the teacher alone, not by self-study. One should not try to get knowledge by self-study. And how? Samit Panihi, having Samit, this firewood in his hand, twigs. And firewood stands for his maturity, his readiness. Just as the dry wood will catch fire very fast. Similarly, he said, I am like this Samit. Teacher, you don't have to struggle so much. You just light the fire, I will catch it. Samit Panihi San Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Gurum Aveva Abhigacche Ityadi Shrutehe. So here Gurupa Sadanam is talked about. Now what will be the response of the teacher? That is said in the next sentence. Saha Guruhu Paramakruppaya Adhyaropapavadanyayena Enam Upadishati Tasmai Savidvan Upasannaya Samyak Prashanta Chittaya Shamanvitaya Yenaksharam Purusham Veda Satyam प्रोवाच तां तत्त्वतो ब्रह्मविद्याम् इत्यादिश्रुतेः. I think we read yesterday, no? Okay. Saha Guruhu, that teacher. That teacher means to whom this disciple has gone to. Saha Guruhu Upadishati, teaches. Now in modern time, Upasritya, no? Though we can say going through internet, going to the screen. So that online class has got really changed the description. So Guru Meva Abhigachet. So you need not go. So Guru Meva Abhigachet means screen Eva Abhigachet. Whatever it is, People say, is it okay? I always say that when the best is not available, you go for the second best. So it is not the best. But when second best is available, you should not let it go waiting for the best. Otherwise, best also is already gone. Adhruvam tasya nashyanti. And dhruvam nashtamevacha. What is there in your hand also is gone. And therefore, whatever way Guru is available, Saha Guruhu, that Guru who is approached, who is Shrotriya Brahmanistha, Upadishati, teaches, would teach. Whom? Enam. Enam is this qualified student. If the student is qualified, the teacher teaches. Nowadays teachers are a little more compassionate. Even not qualified also teaches. So Upadishati. Swami Chinmayananda was asked by somebody that when he started teaching Upanishad, people did not like it. He said, how can you teach Upanishad in public? It is a rahasyam. So unqualified people also will listen to it. So that time Swami Chinmayananda said that Mother Shruti will take care. Those who are qualified alone will listen, rest of them will sleep. So no problem. So enam qualified, adhikarinam upadishati. He teaches. And what is the basis for the teacher to teach? Is he unemployed and therefore he wants some employment, some money, some job, and this job is teaching? Or he wants to be a very famous teacher of so many students or something like that? No. Parama Krupaya. By or with great compassion. Only with compassion he teaches. And Pujya Swamiji used to say that in teaching Vedanta, the teacher requires more compassion. Why? Because in the vision of teacher there is no problem. And therefore there is no need for solution. And the student is seriously feeling the problem. And teacher, even though he knows there is no real problem, he has to accept the problem and as though giving solution. It requires extra compassion. So Parama Krupaya, he doesn't have any personal agenda. Out of compassion, Upadishati, he teaches. Alright. And what is the method he uses? Adhyaropa apavada nyayena. Through the nyaya here means method. Through the method of adhyaropa apavada. Through the method of superimposition and negation. Adhyaropa apavada nyayana. Adhyaropascha apavadascha adhyaropa apavadau tayoho nyaya. Tadvishayaka nyaya ityartha. So through the method of adhyaropa and apavada. Here this word adhyaropa apavada can be translated as adhyaropasya apavada nyayana. Apavada. Through the method of the negation of what is already superimposed. Through the method of negation of superimposition, by this method Upadishati, he teaches. Alright. Now, Adhyaropa Apavada means what? Some superimposition is there and that is negated. So there is a negation of some superimposition which is already there. And sometimes Shruti also does some deliberate superimposition. Either already existing superimposition or deliberate superimposition, that is called Adhyaropa. And negation, Apavada of that is called Adhyaropa Apavada. And that method of negation of that which is superimposed is called Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya. The method of negation of superimposition or method of superimposition and negation is Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya. So one may wonder that generally when we communicate about something, we use some descriptive words. General method of communicating through words is what? Descriptive method. If I want to describe Narayana Ashram, the Narayana Ashram is this at this particular height. It is after this place. It is on the way to Kailasa route. All this I can give description. That is how we communicate. Then Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya is not used. Why this particular method is used to communicate about Brahman? For that, our answer is Brahman is not like any other object which can be described through some description, which can be presented through some description. Another technical reason we give, Brahman does not have any Shabda Pravrutti Nimitta. Jate, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha are the Shabda Pravrutti Nimitta, they are not there. Therefore, Brahman cannot be described through words in a conventional manner. And one more reason is that Brahman is not something totally unknown entity. Like Narayana Ashram, which is to be described through some description. So Brahman is not a totally new entity which is away from me, which is to be described through some particular words, descriptive words. That is not the case. Brahman is already available as Atma. So Brahman is evident as the self. If it is evident as the self, then why should you describe? Why should you give Upadesha? For that, our answer is that even though Brahman is evident as the self, but the self which is evident is not understood as limitless Brahma. Therefore, Brahman is evident, known, but not correctly and completely known. It is incompletely and wrongly known, and therefore we require a peculiar, particular, special method, and that is called Adhyaropa Apavada, where entity is already evident, but since it is wrongly known, some superimposition has happened, and that superimposition is to be negated. Then that self-evident self alone will be understood as Brahman, and therefore this Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya is used. Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya is a bread and butter of this Vedanta. If somebody says, I understood Vedanta, only this topic of Adhyaropa Apavada I did not understand, then he has not really understood. So it is an important prakriya. Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya. Okay. And this Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya itself will be explained by the author from the second chapter. That is the teaching. Adhyaropa Apavada Nyayena Upadesha. That is the teaching of Vedanta. And that will be done from the next chapter. Therefore, this much is enough for us to know. He teaches to this qualified student through the method of negation of superimposition or superimposition and negation. Either way you can say. You can say karyasya karanam upadishati or karyam cha karanam cha upadishati. Both have the same idea to convey. Alright. Now, when a student, a committed, qualified student goes to the teacher, then the teacher will teach. For that, what is the basis? Shruti is the basis. When a qualified student goes, the teacher will teach. Definitely teach. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti. Like Bhagwan Sri Krishna is telling, they will teach. As if Bhagwan is giving the instruction, they will teach. So, upadekshanti te gnanam gnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Similar Shruti is also there, which is quoted here. Tasmai sa vidwan, here printing mistake is there. Upasannaya, that vertical stroke should be after na. By mistake it has gone to upasannaya. Okay. So, upasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya yena aksharam purusham veda satyam provachatam tattvato brahma vidyam. Saha Vidwan, that Vidwan who is Shrotriya Brahmanishtha Guru, that wise person, Brahma Vidyam Provacha. Here Provacha Bhashyakara says Prabruyat, would teach. That wise person would teach Brahma Vidyam, the knowledge of Brahman, would impart the knowledge of Brahman. Acha, to whom? Tasmai, to that person, to that disciple. Who is he? Samyak upasannaya. Upasanna means approached, surrendered or approached. Samyak, very well. So that wise person would teach that qualified student who has approached Samyak very well. Very well means as described in the Shastra. How it is described? The Samitpanihi or Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. In this manner, one who has approached with proper attitude and necessary qualification, and those qualifications are given by the two words prashanta chittaya. One whose mind is prashanta, relaxed. So here prashanta chittaya is having the idea of this person is endowed with shama. And Bhashyakara there he explains uparata darpadi doshaya. So one who is free from the defects of darpa. Darpa means this arrogance. Like somebody will go and tell, by chance if you know and I am free, you are free, you can teach me. So that is darpa. So you are free, I am free, and by chance you know, then you teach. So he is not very sure. So I have been trying with so many people, but nobody is able to explain. So I thought I will try with you also. That type of darpa is there. Then it will not work. Therefore, uparata darpadi doshaya. This intellectual arrogance is one of the big obstacles. So one need not have the sense of the feeling of inferiority with regard to one's intellectual capacity. That is not required. Oh, I can't understand. Swami, by your grace only you put knowledge. I can't understand. That is not correct. And At the same time, oh, you have to just show me one or two things, that's all. I will figure out by myself. That I know it. That I have listened to it, understood 10 years ago. That type of intellectual arrogance is not there. So, uparata darpadi doshaya, that is the meaning of prashanta chittaya. And also it has got the meaning of being relaxed. This Vedanta cannot be given in a hurried manner. So one needs to have relaxation. In Yoga Shastra, it is said, Bhashyakara says, Vyasa Bhashyam or some Tikakara, he said, this yoga, learning yoga and getting samadhi, one needs to have a lot of patience. He said, it cannot be learnt within a day or two. If somebody wants to learn yoga in a day or two, it will be like this person has gone to Pathashala and 4 days are over, still he has not studied 4 Vedas. Yeah. So that type of haste is there, it doesn't work. The very haste itself will become an obstacle. Tell me fast, tell me fast, tell me fast. It doesn't work. Therefore, Prashanta Chittaya and Shaman Vitaya. Here Shaman Vitaya has got the meaning of Bahendriyo Paramena Cha Yuktaya. Here Shama is in the sense of Dhamma. So endowed with this mastery over the organs. Shaman Vitaya. To that person, this Vidwan would teach Brahma Vidya. Tattvataha means as it is. Yathavat. As he has received, he will teach as it is. So Yathavat. And what is this Brahma Vidya? Yena. By which the Vibhakti, the Linga Vyatyaya is there. Yena. Yaya Brahma Vidyaya. Yena Vignanena. Yaya Brahma Vidyaya. By which Brahma Vidya a person Veda understands what? Purusham, the all-pervasive self. Purayati sarvaniti Purusham. This all-pervasive self which is Aksharam, which is imperishable. Satyam, unnegatable. So he would teach that Brahma Vidya, Tam Brahma Vidya, Yena means Yaya, by which a person, the listener, the student, knows this Aksharam Purusham, imperishable reality, imperishable self, which is unnegatable. Alright. So, Provacha, and Bhashyakara said, Prabruyat. He, the teacher, would teach. There is no reason for him not to teach. He would teach. Especially when the disciple is so committed, I mean, he is very much qualified by his behavior, by his expressions. He is showing his commitment, his qualification. Then there is no reason he would not teach. Pujya Swamiji was asked that why should the wise person teach? Then he said, why should he not teach? He told with different context, but what he means is that there is no reason for him not to teach. As he has no reason for teaching, he has no reason for not teaching. And there is some reason for teaching is that the student is invoking compassion. By his qualification, sincerity, he is invoking. And therefore, Parama Krupaya. And here Tikakara has said that Krupa Vyatirekena Sadhanantara Bhavat. There is no other basis except this Krupa, the compassion. Alright. So Provacha Prabruyat would teach. Alright. Ityadi Shrutehe. This Shruti being there, we can say that Guruhu Adhyaropapavada Nyayena Upadishet. He would teach. Alright. So with this, the first chapter is completed. And in the first chapter, there are these three topics we saw. One is that Mangalacharanam in the form of the two verses, invoking the grace of the Lord and the grace of the teacher first. Then Anubandha Chatushtayam was talked about, Adhikari Vishaya Prayojana Sambandha, and then finally the Guru Pasadanam, approaching the teacher, was talked about. And Guru is going to teach, that also was told. Okay. Now the second chapter is starting with the teaching, main teaching of Vedanta, and that is Adhyaropapavada Nyayena Brahma Nirupanam, the presenting Brahman through Adhyaropapavada. And so in the beginning itself he explains what is Adhyaropa, and later on he will say what is Apavada. So Adhyaropa of the Adhyaropapavada Nyaya is introduced and explained. Asarpabhutayam rajjau sarparopavat vastuni avastvaropaha adhyaropaha. So what is Adhyaropa? Superimposition is given here. A definition is given, very simple definition. What is the definition? Vastuni avastvaropaha adhyaropaha. Aropaha, same meaning, superimposition, attribution of a vastu, unreal, superimposing or attributing the avastu or avastutva, unreality or unreal entity, on vastu, vastuni, seventh case, on the reality. Superimposition of unreality on reality is called adhyaropaha. That is the definition. And what is superimposed is called adhyaropaha or adhyastha. And where there is superimposition, it is called adhishthanam. So adhisthane adhyastasya mithyavastunaha aropaha adhyaropaha. The superimposition of some unreal thing on real thing or real entity is called adhyaropaha. And the example is given. Asarpa bhutayam rajjau sarpa ropavat. Like, what means like, sarpa ropa, the superimposition of snake. On what? Rajjau, on the rope. What type of rope? Asarpa bhutayam, the rope which is not in the form of, not having the status of being a snake, means non-snake. So like the superimposition of the snake on the rope which is non-snake. So asarpa bhutayam means what? Asarpatvam bhuta prapta. Asarpatvam praptayam rajjau. Rajju which does not have the status of being the snake, on such rajju, such rope, there is superimposition of snake. Like that, like the superimposition of snake on the rope which is non-snake, there is superimposition of a vastu, unreal. And what is unreal he will describe, the entire anatma prapancha, on vastu, on the reality which is Brahman. That is called adhyaropaha. This is general definition of adhyaropa is given. And Adhyaropa is not something which we have to do. Here Vedanta Sara Prakriya given is that Adhyaropa is already happened. It is not to be done. Yes, for communication purpose it will be presented in the form of Adhyaropa first and then negation. But what is going to be presented here as Adhyaropa, the superimposition, that has already happened. Adhyaropa is not something you have to do, it is there. And in Adhyaropa, Adhishthanam is there, Adhyastha is there. Adhyastha is the Mithya Padartha, Adhishthanam is Satyam. On Satya Adhisthana, there is superimposition of Mithya Padartha, that is Adhyaropa. Now he explains the words used in the definition. That is the style of communication. The superimposition of the entire world on Brahman, that is going to be the message, is Adhyaropa. So now he clarifies those terms. Vastu Satchidanandam Advayam Brahma Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuhaha Avastu. See, Vedanta Sarakara has got a particular style of communication. So he will assume as if you know this word Satchid, Ananda and Brahma, Ajnanadi. Of course he will explain, but as if you are familiar with it, with all these terms. Alright, so Vastu, the reality or the real thing, is Brahma. Brahman is the Vastu. Vasati iti Vastu. That which remains forever, that which is never negated, that which never goes away, that is Vastu. Vastu, Vasati iti Vastu. If Pujya Swamiji's this favorite word for talking about reality, he used to use the word Vastu more than any other word. So Vastu is Brahma. What is this? How, of what nature is Brahma? Sat Chit Anandam. That which is of the nature of existence, unnegatable existence, is Sat. Ghata asti, pata asti, that is there, which is never negated, that is Sat. So unnegatable existence is Sat. Chit is the consciousness which is the basis for all knowledge, which is making the body mind sense complex conscious, is Chit. The Chit in Tattvabodha, how is it translated as, explained as Jnana Swarupa, which is of the nature of knowledge. So every knowledge is essentially Chit. So consciousness alone is getting expressed in the form of all Jnanam. Ghatak Jnanam is nothing but consciousness. That's why in Panchadashi they use the word Sambit, Ghata Sambit, Pata Sambit. Sambit means consciousness. So part knowledge is really what? Part consciousness only. Consciousness which is manifesting through the thought regarding a part is called part is called Ghata Jnanam, Ghata Sambit. Consciousness manifesting through the thought regarding part is called part consciousness, otherwise called Ghata Sambit. So Chit, anyway we have seen so much about Chit. So Chit is consciousness. Anandam. Anandam, really Ananda is a Pullinga Shabda. So here Anandam is in the sense of Ananda Swarupa. Anandam. So of the nature of fullness. And Advayam. non-dual, is Brahma. So Brahman is of the nature of existence, consciousness, fullness, which is free from duality. All these words will be explained later on. Alright. Satchidanandam Advayam Brahma. And Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuhaha Avastu. So Brahman is Vastu, Adhishthana, Vastu which is Adhishtanam. And what is Avastu? Unreal. Ajnanadi, Ajnana etc. Sakala Jada Samuhaha. Samuha means a group, aggregate. The group of Jada, inert things. Sakala, all. A group of all inert things. And what are they? Ajnanadi, Ajnanam etc. Ignorance etc. So group of all inert things starting with ignorance is Avastu. So the descriptive definition of Avastu. What is unreal? Unreal is this. Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuha Avastu. So this is how he has to start. Then afterwards he is going to explain what is Ajnanadi. So what is this Ajnana? So Adhyasa is the superimposition of all Jada Padartha on Brahma. So now Vastu is equal to Advaya Brahma, Avastu is equal to Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuha. If we take these two definition of Vastu and Avastu and we put them in the definition of Adhyaropa, what will be the meaning? Vastuni Brahmani Avastunaha Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuhasya Aropaha. So the superimposition of Avastu, unreal, which is in the form of a group of all inert things starting with ignorance. On what? On Brahma, which is Vastu, which is reality. And for that example is Asarpa Bhutayam Rajjau Sarparopavat. So here the message conveyed is that Brahman is the only reality. If Brahman is the only reality, how come we have got the experience of this pluralistic world? For that explanation is given here, that the pluralistic world which you are seeing is superimposition, is an appearance of the Vastu, which is Brahman. So existence, consciousness alone is the reality, and on that there is superimposition of this Anatma Prapancha, of all the experienceable objects. Drishya Prapancha, pluralistic. Drishya Prapancha means experienceable world. Pluralistic experienceable world is nothing but the superimposition on the reality which is existence consciousness. If existence consciousness is the only reality, how come there is appearance of plurality? Answer is that plurality is superimposed upon the Vastu Advayam non-dual Brahman. And for that we give two types of example. One example which is given here, Asarpa Bhutayam Rajjau Sarparopavat. Rope is only one, but there can be superimposition of Sarpa, Mala, Jaladhara, Bhuchidra. All this can be superimposed. So on one Adhishthanam there can be superimposition of many things. So one Adhishthanam can wrongly appear as many things. On one Adhishthanam there can be superimposition of many unreal things. And that Adhishthanam, which is of the nature of Satchidananda, is Atma, is you. That also is going to be talked about later on. Just to complete the topic, that Satchidananda Brahma is Atma, you, real you. And with that only the teaching is complete. We don't go only up to this Brahma being Adhishthanam. That Satchidananda Brahma is you. The whole world is superimposed upon this Satchidananda Brahma, non-separate from Brahma. For that we give the example of the Rajju Sarpa, and that Rajjusthaniya Brahma you are. That is one example. Other example which is given in the Upanishad. Upanishad generally gives the example of Ghata Mrittika. Just as all the pots are superimposed upon. Superimposed means what? Non-existing, not existing substantially apart from clay. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to like this Ghata Mrit example more than Rajju Sarpa. Why? Because people may overlook this Vyavaharika Satyatvam. They will go to only Pratibhasika. So Rajju Sarpa example is a very good example. It is used in Mandukya and all, but it has got this possible limitation. If it is handled properly, it will not create. But if it is not handled properly, it may create this confusion that this world is only Pratibhasika. And Vyavaharika Satyatvam will be ignored. And that too in inappropriate stage of pursuit of knowledge. And therefore, what happens? A person will think that this world is only an appearance without accepting the empirical reality. In Mandukya Karika, the approach is that only there are two things. One is the Agrahanam and other is Anyatha Grahanam. And in Agrahanam is non-comprehension and Anyatha Grahanam is wrong comprehension. And in that alone, this Vyavaharika and Pratibhasika both are included. But generally Upanishad's approach is to consider the Vyavaharika Satyatva. And therefore, this Mrittika Ghata example is highlighted in Shastra. Chandogya Upanishad example, the Mrittika ityeva satyam vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam. These all the vikaras are only nama matram. Nama matram means they do not have substantial existence, independent existence. And therefore they can be said to be superimposed upon clay. And that is said here, avastuni vastvaropaha. Vastuni avastvaropaha. So for that, both the examples can be given. Asarpa bhutayam rajjo sarparopavat or mrudi ghataropavat. Vastuni avastvaropaha adhyaropaha. Alright. Now, having given this much introduction, he is going into the analysis of this avastu. What is this unreal thing which is superimposed upon Brahman? And superimposed has got the idea of not existing independently. It does not have existence, substantial existence of its own. And that avastu, which does not have substantial existence of its own is elaborated. Because it was said, Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuha Avastu. Now, Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuha means what? What do you mean by the word Ajnanadi? That is explained from the next sentence. Ajnanam tu sadasadbhyam anirvacaniyam trigunatmakam jnana virodhi bhavarupam yatkinchit iti vadanti aham agnaha ityadyanubhavat devatma shaktim swagunair nigudham ityadi shrutehe cha. Ajnanam tu sadasadvyam anirvacaniyam trigunaatmakam jnana virodhi bhavarupam yat kinchit iti vadanti aham agnaha ityadi anubhavat devatma shaktim swagunair nigudham ityadi shrutehe cha. So here Ajnanam, which is a vastu, is explained. Generally we translate the word Ajnanam by the word ignorance. And for all practical purpose it is okay. But what we are saying by the word Ajnanam or Avidya is more than what is conveyed by the word ignorance in English. Because ignorance, when we say, what is conveyed is just not knowing. It conveys the idea of absence of knowing. Whereas we have something more to convey by the word Ajnanam or Avidya. Here Ajnanam word is used in the sense of Avidya. So Ajnanam, when it is translated as ignorance, we are taking abhavarthe nanch. So Jnanasya abhavaha Ajnanam, that type of meaning is taken. Whereas what Vedanta or Vedanti wants to convey through word Ajnanam is not the Jnanasya abhavaha. Jnanasya abhavaha Ajnanam, that is not the meaning. Jnanasya virodhi Ajnanam, that meaning is conveyed. Because this Nanj Pratyaya got 6 meaning. One is abhava, other is virodha. So here Jnana virodhi Ajnanam, that which is opposed to Jnanam, that which does not remain in the wake of knowledge, that is called Ajnanam. And that because of which Jnanam is not happening, that also is Ajnanam. So Avarana Shakti idea is conveyed by the Jnana Virodhi, and Jnana Nivartyatvam, removability by knowledge idea is conveyed by the word Jnana Virodhi. That Jnana Virodhi is Ajnanam. And its ontological status is conveyed by the first expression Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam. It is uncategorizable or not available for categorical definition as Sat, existent, or Asat, non-existent. So that which cannot be categorized as or defined as existent or non-existent, that is Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam. And it is Trigunatmakam, etc., which we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः।